shodo-x!
Hey guys, welcome back to the third episode of the Soto Pop Podcast. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
Malunis.
Dude, welcome back. Sadly, Josh could not join us as he's doing a project. He's working very hard. So go over to Twitter, send him some good regards. I don't know. I want to say vibes. That sounds a little weird.
Tell him about Morphex keys.
What?
Tell him about Morphex keys.
Oh yeah, definitely do that.
He hasn't heard about them yet.
Yeah. So we've got plenty of news on the docket. We're going to be diving into some Minipla news, and just because of that, we decided for our podcast topic at the end of this episode, we're going to be doing a sort of overview, a guide to the candy toy options presented to us by Bandai, our overlords who control our wallets. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just sort of tell you, I guess, what lines there are and what to expect. Sort of, again, just an overview, maybe some things you do know, some things you don't. So yeah, let's just dive right into the news. And first off, this week we were introduced to the candy toy line for
not Kyoryuger.
Not Kyoryuger, it's
Ryusoulger.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Ryusoulger is here, and we've got our first looks at the candy toys, and even the mini vinyl figures, so that's neat. Some cards and stuff, and some candy toy Ryusouls. But yeah, like our main thing is the Minipla, and it's, I don't quite know what else there is to say about Minipla. Now that it's kind of been around for a while, it's the DX, but more articulation and more frustrating stickers. Mm-hmm. And this seems to continue that trend.
With the twist, which is that it seems to have the exact same functionality as the DX one, which is it has not Lego ports.
Yes. And I am specifically wondering if the not Lego ports will act like Lego ports. I do hope that these are Lego compatible. Like I'm waiting on that information to sort of come back to me, to sort of hit me until I go in on this. If it is not Lego compatible, I don't think that I'll be into it. But if it is, then I'm certainly there for it. How about you?
You know what? I'll wait and see what the prices are going for, because I kind of like the look of this mecha, and I'm fine with just like owning the one, like regardless of whether it's Lego compatible.
Yeah, that's fair. You were telling me earlier in the show, or in the pre-show, that the sizes have been changing. Can you speak a bit more to that?
So my only experience with it so far is Q Ranger and Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. Q Reno is about like 6 inches tall, which for you Transformers fans is about like a Voyager class Transformer, the modern Voyager class. Lupin Kaiser and Pat Kaiser are about like 5 inches tall, so they're much shorter. And I'm not sure if that's like a change going forward, because even though I didn't really do any documentation on them, I did look at the first blog post that the Bandai Candy Toy blog did for the mecha, and they basically like hyped up how we're using silver plastic instead of gray plastic now, and we're doing this and this, and it kind of makes me look back on it and going, I bet they made those changes and they had to downscale because of it.
Okay.
Similar to how Zio was like, we added more articulation and swappable hands. Also, it's a little bit more expensive, like 500 yen.
Yeah. So it just depends on where the money went. Like, I
and
think
also,
what you're saying is like,
yeah.
I guess more accuracy went into like the sculpt and what materials they use, but then they had to like, instead of raise the price, they just drew back on the size.
Yeah, and the reason I brought up the scale is because if it's around that 5 or 6 inch scale, I can see those pegs being Lego compatible. Maybe.
Yeah.
That also
I wonder.
That also brings into question whether the DX one is compatible with anything.
Yeah, like Duplo compatible.
Oh, jeez. Lego Movie 2.
Oh, there we go. I still haven't seen it yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I can't wait though. But yeah, this is I'm just doing a quick scrub through because I haven't seen it in a while. Is there anything else they sort of note here, or is it just like, hey, it's here?
Let me see right here. What does this text say? It is very difficult to. I don't know what they're talking about actually.
Okay,
it's something about the development of the toy and how it's very difficult to evaluate my item flatly. I don't know what that means. Google Translate.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
Anyway.
Okay.
I haven't really been following the series very closely, so I can't really comment that much. Other than I like the look of the design.
Mm-hmm. I guess we will be covering this, a little more frequently. Now that I guess they do update every week, so yeah, look forward to more coverage. I guess, especially since we have no idea what we're talking about. I'm sort of just waiting for Yudo to say its piece on here. But yeah, next up, we had another commercial come out that revealed to us some things that the blog still hasn't. We will link it in the description. And really the only thing to sort of take from it was the Gates Revive, Goretsu, and Shippu. And I don't know, from the very quick look that we got, they look fine. I'm glad that like the blue on Shippu, I think the blue one.
Yeah.
I do really like that blue, and it doesn't seem to be stickered on, and it's like a nice shiny blue. And on the chest, it seems like the major sticker, kind of on the torso and maybe on the like center chest thing. The center chest thing doesn't seem to like. I don't think I'll have too many problems stickering that part up, but that bottom torso area, not good. And then Goretsu, nice and orange. I don't know what else to say here.
I remember looking at the blue one and thinking that the shoulders seem a little bit lower than usual. Like they didn't seem like you've got a picture up right now, right?
Yeah.
Does it look like they're attached the same way that any of the other ones are, by a hinge?
You mean attached like the O's armor, or like attached by
like there's a little hinge that it kind of flaps from?
I mean, it seems like there's just like a structure on the back that's connected to the back, and then it sort of hinges out from there.
Good, because my theory was that maybe there's, to some extent, an armor transformation where like the large shoulder pads are kind of covering those.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But looking at Goretsu, it seems like those are sort of mounted onto the arm.
Well, I guess we can talk about it more once we get to the Soto reveal, the other Soto reveals. But I will say, I think I might have been onto something when I said it was 3 sets.
3 sets. So you mean like the 2 armor sets and then the body?
Yeah. Just because of the sort of reveal that we got so far.
Yeah.
I can go into it once we get to it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that came out kind of not really supposed to know, I guess, but it's here. So moving into some of the bigger stuff, we got Ride Plus, and it's looking fantastic.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know why things show up on Figsoku early, and I don't quite know what Figsoku is at all, but stuff shows up there, and it showed up there before the blog, and it looks fantastic.
I'm kind of glad that we did some unintentional follow-up last episode, because all of that turned out to be true.
Yeah, I mean, like, most of it. The I guess accessory set, we had zero clue that it was just gonna be Decade.
Oh yeah, this is really just a love letter to people who like the character.
Yeah, I know. Like, I did not, for the life of me, I did not realize, or I did not think that, like, we'd basically be getting our Soto Chronicle Decade in this set. Because, like, think about what we got Soto Chronicle wise for double. We got, you know, the base forms and, like, 2 other, like, final forms or something. Well, there are forms missing is kind of what I'm saying. They kind of just did some of the most popular stuff, and here they did just that. We're not going to be getting your final form Decade, but we're going to be getting just base form Decade. We're getting Violent Emotion and accessories from that movie, and then also the most recent version, the pink belt.
It's kind of funny that they included that Gigant, whatever. I think that's from G4.
Yeah, or
it's because
4 or 3.
It's one of those. But
okay.
It's kind of funny they included it because, like, the Gamba Rising arcade game, instead of doing custom forms, it's just kind of been doing this thing where you scan the ride watch and then the rider shows up to help you fight. And I was thinking, what are they going to do with Violent Emotion Decade? And he just kind of shows up with that Gigant and just fires it.
Because, like, I remember, I think it was in the movie. He just, like, he's like riding his cycle, and then he goes up to face Jay, and then he just brings out this huge rocket launch, and I'm like, what's happening? Whose is that? When did you get just a rocket launcher? I didn't realize it was, like, you know, from either G3 or G4. I don't know.
I feel like it might be G4 just because he's like the evil rider.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, regardless.
Yeah. But that's not all the accessory set comes. Oh, well, I guess we'll break down what comes in each box. So the first box, you're just gonna be getting your base form Decade with a pink belt. It's gonna come with a ride booker in its book form, just on the side, and just regular Decade head. And then the accessories, which is they are straight up just like styling on the Shoto release, because the Shoto release, it only came with the sword and, like, some option hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I should really turn off my phone. But this accessory set, it comes with the Violent Emotion head. It comes with the white belt. It comes with two different card hands. One to show you the card, and then one when the happens and before he, you know, puts it in the belt. An open ride booker, a ride booker in the gun form, which again Shoto did not do, the ride booker in the sword form, and option hands, just displayed open hands, and, you know, cannot forget the rocket launcher.
I was going through them in my head like that, and then I realized that there was just an open ride booker in his hand, and I just thought, you guys are just showing off at this point.
Oh, I know.
That's like SH Figure Arts.
Sorry.
And of course, the only other thing they could possibly include is Shinobi swords, because the other two didn't have weapons.
Yeah.
And those are basically things that they would have made anyway, because those are Fuma's swords from X-Aid.
Yeah, and, like, I guess it would be just a pretty easy pack in. Just throw some black plastic into the mold, and then you're done.
And Bob's your uncle.
Yep. What was it? It was like Robert's your father's brother.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, this is extremely exciting. And like the box is gonna come like his. I don't know. The only place I've looked is Amiyami. I don't know if you can get a set of these, but like I'm so glad I'm getting the box because like I'm half tempted. No, I'm like all the way tempted to open up some extra decade. Like I'll have for my decade display, I'll have my Shoto, and then for my Geo display, I'll have pink belt decade, and then I'll throw violent emotion decade somewhere in the mix. That seems like a good idea.
The only thing that I don't know yet, and I'm sure that we will know because, as the blog said, the images are prototypes and the final products will be shown on the blog at a later date. The things that I want to know is what is the hand situation for the future writers? Because, like, if you look at you got the blog opened or whatever?
Yeah.
If you
got our very own Twitter breakdowns, so if you want to follow us on Twitter, and get the news as it comes out with some I don't want to say witty commentary, but with some commentary, you go ahead and follow that. DaiSodaPop, at DaiSodaPop on Twitter. Anyway, go ahead.
If you look at Shinobi's left hand, you can see that the wrist is it's definitely pulled away from the forearm a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
there's enough of a gap that's probably a swappable hand.
Yeah, if you look at the first image, you can see Kakai, he has his wrist twisted all the way, like all the way twisted. So I do think that they at least have swivel hands. I don't think they're going to get swappable hands. You could probably swap it with Geo or whatever, but I think that's as far as they go, just for articulation, not for swapping.
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, we're getting the other future riders. I'm surprised Kakai comes fully packed with just himself.
Yeah,
because traditionally Guardians come with these aren't hard Guardians and these aren't just regular Guardians. These are like the in between. And I forgot which ones they are.
They're just like the armored up ones that don't have the jumpsuit.
Yeah, and that combine into the huge pants.
You have like 15 Guardians, right? So you would probably know.
I have 20.
Oh, okay. I thought I was exaggerating. But you're familiar enough with the mold that you could probably tell if this armor is different, right?
Yeah. This is the exact same armor.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that once we get final product, we're probably going to see new photos of them, kind of like the way Soto promotional photos usually go, where they show the figure without the armor.
That's true, yeah.
And I would guess that Kakai, if it's working exactly like the regular Guardian, it'll probably just be the only one without armor. The others will probably just look like the normal figures, like the player.
Yeah. And I am surprised that like on Quiz even, like they have what looks to be sort of Xaid-ish, but they swapped out the hands. Did Xaid do? They did DaiSodo, but did they have swappable hands?
No, that was definitely a thing that Build kind of introduced.
Okay, all right. But yeah, I'm impressed. I guess they went back and like updated. I don't know if that's updated the mold. I guess I don't know if they'd use it for anything else other than Quiz, unless they wanted to go back and do Soto Chronicle Xaid for whatever reason.
I was thinking about this recently because of the way that Soto figures are assembled. It really isn't that much work for them to add swappable hands because they're just making a new forearm.
That's true.
Rather than
forearm and like molding new hands.
Well, there's that, but also I was going to say it's not like they have to replace the entire torso or something. The arm is literally just a separate piece. The forearm, I mean.
Yeah, and I mean the waist swivel, that wasn't on all of them, right? I'm looking at them right now. They don't have waist swivels. I think that was only in DaiSodo.
Yeah, that DaiSodo really was a game changer.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, all this is doing is making me want to get like regular people action figures in like 3 3/4 inch to 4 inch scale, so we can so I can have Kakai beat them up.
So like I was saying before, time jackers.
Yes, time jackers. I don't know, man.
You can have.
I'm still.
You can have quiz punching.
I don't know, cause like again, my thing is, you better actually finish all of Geo before you get into your weird stuff. Don't be making weird. Don't be making demands, and then they follow up on those, and then we don't finish up Geo. Kind of afraid of that. We'll see. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, I guess that's it for Future Riders and Decade.
That is a June release.
June release. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's in the summer. I've already got it pre-ordered though. By the way, like I said, I've only ever seen it as a box, so you're probably gonna have to get extras. I do wonder if they're gonna stack the box in the wrong direction. Like, what if they did like 3 or 4 decades, two of the like extras sets, and then like, what is it?
Half of a shinobi, half of a kikai.
Yeah.
It's just like in one. It's like in a paper bag.
Yeah, just off to the side. But yeah, this is coming out, and I can't wait. This got me really excited. So, and honestly, this is probably we haven't heard anything from RKF on this front. So, this might be your only chance to get some Future Riders.
Yeah, I wouldn't rely on that main action figure line at this point because Soto has just taken the spotlight.
I know. I mean, technically, they could just, modify the X-Aid mold and give you a quiz.
And they got Ghost. Well, I mean, like the Legend Rider series.
Yeah, they haven't done Ghost yet. I'm sure if they get to Ghost, that would be an easy.
I'm sure they'll get to him in 2020.
Yeah, but will they even attempt for the Future Riders by that point?
Yeah.
All right. So then the regular Soto blog post, it gave us Sparkling Build, or hold on, no, it's Kamen Rider Geo Decade Armor Build form.
Yep.
Is that right?
And there are no spaces in that form name. I hate these romanizations.
Are you serious? Did I get it wrong on the Twitters?
It's fine if you add spaces. Trust me,
because it only makes sense.
Trust me, I've seen the romanizations on the official website. They are terrible. Like, I think the Time Majin is like, what was it? Time Majin Gates Mode Gen form or something.
Jeez.
Anyway, this is the start of Wave 8. And, actually, follow up on that commercial from before that actually showed this. They basically admitted that they just wanted to introduce in a different way this time. Just kind of mix things up. It wasn't an accident.
Okay. So, I don't know. Could you talk about that more? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't, see any, translation of it. It
seemed like he had kind of a cheeky attitude when he said it, like, oh yeah, that wasn't a mistake. We just wanted to try something different rather than introduce it on the blog first. Just kind of slip it into the commercial.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
Just like, hey, did you notice this?
Okay, cool. And if you do want full translations of at least the Soto blogs, you can go over to the Tokusatsu Network, and by the time this episode goes up, the links will be in the description to it, but you can find Malunis' blog post of the blog post.
Indeed.
Yeah, all translated for your consumption.
Sometimes with quotes, but usually I just kind of paraphrase.
Yeah. Yeah. This is looking fantastic. This is another like update on the mold wherein the wrist swivels. I can see like a bit of a turn. I can't tell. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely turns.
I mean, you see him with open hands, so.
You're right. Yeah, I'm just stupid. Okay.
I don't remember which blog post it was because it was so long ago, but I seem to remember that sparkling form had like some different parts to it, like from the usual ones because it was so spiky. Like, didn't it have?
Yeah, it had the soft plastic.
Right.
But I think like the difference here is that like the only spiky parts would be on the forearms because I have it, and like the spiky parts are on the like that soft plastic is used on the head for those little parts, and I think the forearms. I have to go back into my archive and check, but
there's a close up on the forearm, and it doesn't seem like it's separate from the figure, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it seems to be entirely different. Like, as in all one thing.
There's also the part about how it doesn't split in half. That's also different.
Yeah, that's true. I do wonder, however, if like they just left the leg swap gimmick there, like it still pops off like it should.
I want to say that the Zeo ones do that.
Really?
You know what? I've got one right here. Let me see. Oh no, that's not coming off.
Yeah, because like even on the build ones, you'd rip off one leg, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Can the other one come off? Ooh, that doesn't want to move.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll just leave that alone.
Yeah. Now I'm remembering. One of the first things I did was try to make a Zeo Gates armor or something.
That's interesting. Is Geo Gates armor? What'd you do?
I think I just put Gates's. What did I do? I think I just put like the chest armor onto the regular Zeo body, and then like swap the legs and arms for the armored body.
Huh. I feel like that'd be a neat Hyper Battle DVD sort of release.
I've been waiting for it.
That's
and also like an incredibly redundant Zeo armor, which does the same thing.
Yeah.
I technically made that where I just had like a spare chest piece. I just added one of the watch strap stickers to it.
Okay, that's neat.
But yeah, this also comes with the drill crusher from Build Armor, just because I don't remember if it actually used it.
I think it did.
Well, regardless, they just kind of tossed it in because it's been so long.
Yeah, which is nice. I do appreciate that. I do also want to note that this is 4 and 5 in the set.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Because like my prediction was that we would have, or I don't remember exactly what my prediction was, but my current prediction now is that, we got 4 and 5 here. Maybe 6 and 7 is going to be Cross Z Evil, and then 1, 2, 3 is Gates Revive.
Yeah, I'm in that camp. I mean, we say this now. It has a high likelihood of being correct. So like just the next few blog posts will be us. Oh yeah, that's what we expected. Nothing new. And then next week, that's it. That's nothing new. Hopefully
we are dooming ourselves.
Hopefully we're wrong, just to get a little something else in there. But yeah,
I'm sure they'll trip us up by going, this week we're just going to talk about the ride watches.
I don't think they've ever done that.
Well, I think they did one where they were like, here's the ride watches, and also we're bringing back this one little chibi set of figures. So they could throw a curveball.
I guess. The most disappointing curveball. But yeah, I'm glad that this is coming in its own set, and maybe like just the decade armor will trickle out each time, and then we'll be getting like, my thing is, I'm glad that we don't have to rebuy a past armor set.
Yeah, at this point that would be kind of cruel because it's like wave 5 and we're now on wave 8.
Yeah, and the fact that it's coming with like a build specific item, the drill crusher, I'm thinking like that gives me higher hopes for like, okay, if they're doing Decade again, they're probably gonna pack in like some specific stuff to, I don't know, say the X-Aid or the Ghost, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. But now that I said X-Aid, I'm thinking that one's going to be a thing of where you have to buy like one armor set.
Oh, yeah, that's
2 bodies. Yeah.
I didn't
that
think
can
about
get a
that.
little hairy. Yeah. Not into that. But yeah.
I think it says something about how ridiculous Shodo is at this point where I think I commented on Twitter recently where I was like, I guess they're just going to make a grateful body for this wave rather than do a Chronicle set.
Right? I think that might be the case, honestly. Because what could they use from...
I guess they're crazy enough to do it. Shrug.
They are. They definitely are. I mean, like, I'm looking at my Ghost stuff, and they would have to make new shoulders.
There's a lot.
New thighs, but like, I guess lower legs and forearms, they could like reuse some of that at least.
They probably got models on hand that they could modify.
That's true. And I feel like that the whole thing about having models on hand, that's sort of why we're getting certain Shodo releases over others. Like for the Phys one, I don't know if we're gonna be getting a Phys one because like a model doesn't exactly exist for that, you know. And
also, it's kind of in this weird gray area. Like, what is it? A game exclusive or what?
Yeah, like barely that. Let's see. And yeah, the last... Oh, did you want to speak on this anymore?
Well, not really. I think it really speaks for itself that it's actually happening.
Yeah. All right. So, next up, or last up, for the news is, just a rundown of Shodo, Shodo Ryuki and all of his stuff. This is shodo-x. However, this does not come with a bike, which kind of throws the whole definition of shodo-x into, I don't know, this weird limbo. I guess it's like, you know, main figure plus big accessory.
I mean,
maybe.
I mean, wait, did it come with the dragon?
It comes with Drag Redder, but like he
Okay,
doesn't exactly like sit on him and drive him. He's not in his final form.
That's true. It's a weird technicality.
Yeah. I do think, however, they come with the crotches that like move forward for seating. Yeah. I do love Drag Redder. But it would have been cool to get those like whatever that neat looking motorcycle was.
Oh, the ride vendor.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to that.
Oh, and you know what? That every rider had one, so you had to buy multiple.
Yeah. That would have been. You know what? I'm not gonna say it would have been evil because like the shodo-x has been really good to you. Like they give you enough for if you want to display it, even if like you're crazy about displaying it because you're buying an entire box. That's how it comes in. So it perfectly portions out everything you'd need and then a little bit extra. So I was kind of looking forward to the vendor, but no, all right. I mean, that is a complaint for like way long ago because we already knew what was coming in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Drag Redder, however, like that is like a beautiful cherry red paint.
Oh yeah, that looks nice. No stickers.
No sticker. I mean, Shoto never does stickers, which is something I'm so happy about. This thing looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to display it. I don't know, man. Just really good stuff here.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of throws me off when I first saw photos of these figures, the vents on their helmets seem like they don't have any paint, so it looks a little bit odd at first glance.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not seeing any. It might have been like, because they do omit a lot of paint apps. Just look at their backs, for instance. There's zero paint there.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that some of it's missing.
Yeah, it's also, it's not like a nitpick. It's not like I can, if I own these, I could just line them myself, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, these look fantastic. I'm thinking, are you hearing that in my background? Like that high-pitched whine?
Nope.
Okay, cool. That's just me then. I do wonder, let's see if I guess most of the hard points work. I guess the knees don't really work as like connection points for the separate accessories.
What accessories would they have on their legs again? Like, would that be the ride vendor?
I don't know. I just think it'd be neat for a play pattern.
I think I just realized I've been calling it the ride vendor. That's the O's bike.
Oh boy. Credibility. Our credibility is out the window now. Guys, we're canceled.
Let's face it, the motorcycles...
What it's actually called?
No, I was going to say, let's face it, the motorcycles weren't a big deal in Ryuki. Neither were the monsters.
That's fair. Hey, you know what? That's a good thing for the comment section down below. Why don't you tell us? Why don't you go ahead and correct us on what the motorcycle should be? I like that idea.
Oh yeah, you think the monster is important? What are they called? It Mirror Monster.
Yeah. I don't know. This is just really good stuff, and I'm excited for it. And I'm glad I pre-ordered it. Anything else you wanted to talk about here?
I've continue to find it impressive that they keep making this Ryuki blank figure. It seems like such a minor thing, but I always see it.
It's such an easy thing to pop out.
Yeah,
of the mold.
It's like I was saying before with the Converge series. It's one of those easy repaints to do as a secret exclusive.
Yeah. And the last thing I sort of want to note here is that starting a new Shodo series, Shodo arc.
We literally know nothing about it other than you can enjoy it with the existing Shodo series. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's like Shodo in that sense.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
We won't know anything.
What the point is. What?
It won't come out until September, so that's good to know.
Yeah. What could they do with this?
I don't even know what arc would mean in this context.
I mean, would you even know what X meant? Would you even know what versus meant? Like, there's zero context to any of this. Stuff just comes out, and you kind of just have to fill in the blanks yourself. Like, I had no idea. Like, I had to piece together that X meant, oh, hey, it comes with a vehicle thing. And I mean, technically, the drag rider is a vehicle-ish thing. I don't know, man. This is super murky, and I'm fine with it. Like, I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about continuing or dropping it because Soto's so good. And I just like it goes back to the thing of like, in the Transformers like side of things, people would buy third-party masterpiece alikes just to replace them with the actual masterpiece thing. But here, like, I'm kind of buying them in place of Soto, but that's only because I don't know if Soto's gonna get to everything. I don't know. I just have no idea. So what am I supposed to do, man? Like,
I don't know. I'm just like sitting here thinking, what could they make as like another series that's not a figure? Yeah. And the only thing I think of, maybe some dioramas, but I don't know.
Oh man, they do have dioramas for the Ultraman ones.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, but like that comes with cityscapes and stuff. What would this even have?
It would be really fun. I don't know if they would be able to do this, but it would be very fun to have dioramas based on the filming locations.
I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm just how. Oh, what if they pack in? Now this would be the crappiest thing. What if they pack in like a display base and then behind it just like the transformation sequence sort of like plastered in the like they released Takeshi Hongo's SH Figure Arts with like a background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that seems like an easy out.
That seems like it would be an easy thing to do with Zio.
Oh, that'd be nice. Like again, I still think that if we get everything we should in Geo proper, then like the Dai Soto stuff, that's what that's gonna come with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll pin that in just put that as a podcast topic for next week or any other week. I don't know.
Now that we've talked about how confusing Shodo is.
Yes. Let's move right on into the podcast topic. Now, since you sort of brought this to the table, did you kind of want to lead the discussion on this?
Well, let's see. I guess it's worth noting that Soto is not the first candy toy figure line. There have been many. I think just about every Rider series, maybe. As far back as I own a Den-O, so I know it goes that far back.
Yeah, and I know Kiva had like a buildable one,
like a model kit.
Yeah, like I only vaguely know. I saw one video in my research, which was a lot of Google searching. All I managed to find was someone on YouTube piecing together a candy toy model kit of Kiva. I don't know what scale it is. I don't know how many stickers there are, how much paint there was on it, but I know something to that effect exists.
And then you had Decade, which had Final Form Ride stuff.
Yeah. We had Double, which had like a bike line, which mainly did motorbikes, and then like had figures with them too. I own those. The
figures also split in half.
Yeah. So that, yeah, these are really neat. They're not quite, Soto or Shodo scale. Well, they might be Shodo scale.
Yeah, they would probably be like 3/4 inch, or maybe even a little bit smaller.
Honestly, I think they're smaller. But yeah, I don't know where these figures land, but they were just called Kamen Rider action figures, and it covered Ryuki, Knight, Blade, not Chalice, Garen, and then the Jack.
I believe it was Jack form for both of them.
Jack? Okay, Jack forms, and then Fize and Fize Excel, or Axel. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know where that landed. I own the boxes, but I don't know. I think I left them at home.
All we know is that they're the precursor to Motion Revive, which is probably the better line. It was the best figure line until Soto.
Well, I mean, like, in terms of longevity, though, I don't think it's gonna hit the heights of even like O's or Forze, just because like the plastic they used, and I've said this on Twitter a little bit, but like the knees on those, they crumble.
Oh yeah,
it's not pretty, and like I bought these second hand. I mean, like, not the figure second. Like, I bought a box, and the plastic deteriorates. I don't know why, and it's always in the knees for me.
Yeah, it seems like rubber is one of those things. Like, I know that there have been people who talked about Transformers Robots in Disguise, the 2001 version. It had rubber tires, and those apparently crumbled a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't had that problem, but I'm sure I will one day.
Yeah. So definitely just be aware. If you're going back and getting these, like, that's why Shoto right now is such a good option.
Yeah, it's made of hard plastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, this is a quick overview. We may go more in detail later on. I don't know if anything exists for Kuga and
I seem to remember seeing something a long time ago, like when Motion Revive was on my mind, where it was like a Kuga figure and one of them Grongi.
Okay.
I don't know what scale it was, though. I just remember they were kind of cheap in price. Yeah. It was like on eBay. So I assume a cheap price means it's probably small.
Yeah. Could be Gashapon.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, those aside, we got an O's line, and I feel like that was when O's and Forze is when I think the Candy Toy lines peaked in terms of like playability, paint apps, and like just, you know, they managed to do just about everything in those lines. So O's, you were able to do the gimmick, like the form change gimmick, and like in one box you got an entire O's figure. You didn't have to split between two.
And you got Tamashi combo, which I'm surprised never happened.
Yeah,
because like
that's true.
Because like this always bothered me with O's, where the 6-inch figures, you had the repeated parts, the Tatoba combo. Like the Gatakiriba came with a version of the legs that had like clear plastic, and then La Torata had the yellow arms that were like clear plastic. If they had made a Tamashi combo, they could have had the head be red plastic, like translucent.
Oh, shoot.
That always bothered me at the time, so when I saw the Candy Toy did, I thought, well, they've got the right idea.
See, that, like, it's moves like that early on that made me look more at the Candy Toy line than I ever did at, you know, the main line.
Yeah, and then also when I was following every single thing Gaim related, the Candy Toy figures were really interesting because
they were.
You had all these writers that, well, they eventually made all the writers from the show, but a good number of them were premium Bandai.
Yeah. And like, you know, before we dive into Gaim's, there is Wizards as well. And I do want to talk about the articulation for O's, Forze, and subsequently Wizard.
Sure.
They had wrist ball joints. They had screws in the shoulder. And, you know, they were universal joints. There were bicep swivels. The legs were ball jointed. The knees could bend. The feet had ball joints. Head had ball joints, and they even had like a ball joint in the torso. These figures again are like the peak in terms of you know, price per, I don't know what you're getting in the thing.
Yeah, that sounds like a beefy little figure.
They are. So like, I can't speak too much of Oz's line because I don't own any of it. But Forze's is fantastic. But Wizard, I feel like that's sort of when like the figures are getting a little more loose, you know.
But like quality control.
I had to sticker these up myself, and the stickers just did not stick at all. I do want to say that like it wasn't until recently that figures actually stuck like they should, because like a lot, I still have the stickers floating around for Wizard, but they're not there. But yeah, the Wizard still did the gimmick. They did most of the
Wait, what?
Most, if not all, of the forms. You know.
Wait, what was the gimmick?
The gimmick?
I mean, because like the 6-inch figures didn't even get to have a gimmick. They just had LEDs.
That's true. That's fair. Like in terms of the gimmick, I'm looking mostly at Beast because he did have his Chimera.
Oh, nice.
That also had the what is it? Arm cape swap.
Mance.
Yeah.
Mantle, whatever.
So yeah, mantles, right. So I think after that, the line, like the candy toy line, for whatever reason, just started to decline because once we got to Gaim, it sucks to say, but I think that's where it hit rock bottom in terms of like functionality of the base figure. The functionality of the gimmick itself, that was pretty great.
It was a little bit limited, but you could still do it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it might have also been because they needed to make oh, hey, I got an email that says my Bai package has arrived in the warehouse, but that's it. It's soda related, don't worry about it. But yeah, they may have had to take away from the underlying mold and then put more into, I guess, the accessory packs. I think that's sort of, well, Forza had accessory packs that packed in a ton of stuff, so I don't know. When was the oil thing happening? The oil crisis. I know it gets referenced a lot in like Transformers history.
I want to say 2011, 2012.
That's kind of when Gaim came out.
Yeah, it was like 2013.
Yeah, I mean, like Wizard had already set a precedent, so they probably couldn't change anything. And then once Gaim came out, they were like, okay, we need to reel it back.
Oh yeah, I do remember, even though like they covered a lot with Gaim, I also felt like, oh, these don't look that great. Not great enough for me to want to collect.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I felt like the colors were a little bit bright. And this is for Gaim.
Yeah, that's true. But like, Gaim also had just, I don't know, muted color grading. So, yeah, I don't know.
And I always forget, did Drive have a figure line?
It did. It's fine. It was better than the retail figures, though. I will say that. Like, definitively, it was way better than...
Way better than what?
The original, like, retail figure line.
Oh.
Yeah. The 6-inch guys.
Oh, it's better than those? Because I thought those were pretty good.
Well, because, like, the final form... Because... For whatever reason, I own all of Drive's.
They're really cheap right now, so it's fine.
Yeah. The final form, it didn't get, like, hampered by, like, the gimmick at all. It could still move.
Oh, yeah. I can see what you mean now.
Relatively fine. I don't know. It suffers from the sticker issue, and, like, that was a line where I decided, hey, maybe I'll try to paint it, and it didn't go well.
Oh.
And the stickers are fraying. I don't know. I just, in terms of like, for what you're getting, they did like a lot of the figures. I think they did almost all of them. I don't remember if there was a proto drive though. I'm not 100% on that, but they must have. I don't know. Again, we'll go more in depth later. This is kind of an overview. But yeah, I own all of them. I have pretty fond memories with them. I'd say they're better than the retail line.
Fair enough. And Ghost has very small hits from what I could tell.
Yeah, but I mean it's not as jarring as you'd think, and it also introduced like a different scheme, a different like shoulder layout, because they had to make it so that you could plug in the shoulder armor. So it sort of hampered the shoulder articulation. So they set the upward movement like into the chest. I like the Ghost figures. I own 3 of them. Stickers are sticking a lot better than Drive, Wizard, Gaim, Wizard, all those guys.
Better than they have been.
I don't know. Huh?
Better than they have been.
Better than they have been. Yeah. I don't know. I'm messing with this now, and some of the stickers are fraying. So could be eating my words right now. Not a lot of paint, so it is a lot of sticker work. Did come with a ton of ponchos though.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing it had the benefit of releasing all of them, whereas the main figure line had to release a few of them on Premium Bandai.
Yeah. That is another thing that Gaim was able to do. I forget if this was in the pre-show or if we said it during this, but Gaim had to release some of its retail stuff.
Oh yeah,
premium. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like.
Did I just say the retail stuff premium?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
No,
let's move on to Sodo.
Okay, so Sodo was this thing that really, at first I thought, oh, this looks kind of cool. I guess I'll report on it when I see something interesting. And then later on I realized, wow, they are covering more than the figure line.
Yeah.
And they look better.
I think what Sodo did that sort of O's and Forze didn't really have a chance to get was like, you know, a larger Western audience.
Yeah.
And you know, the Western audience probably doesn't factor in too much, but it got like wider coverage than the candy toy lines before. They started the blog with this stuff. I don't know how far back that blog goes.
Yeah. Actually. I definitely feel like more people talked about Sodo during build, and then it just kind of became a regular thing.
Yeah. And like, I do appreciate that there is a blog, and I think that was a real game changer in terms of like, you know, and it gave another layer to your enjoyment of the product, because not only, you know, is it the characters you like, super articulated and like, you know, very collectible, but there was a person behind it, like someone you didn't know, but you kind of knew, like someone who appreciated this stuff, you know, Kamen Rider just as much as the reader, and would dedicate, you know, an entire toy line to doing, you know, an entire blog to making this, like giving you that behind the scenes stuff, and like even calling themselves out on like, hey, we know this didn't work out quite well, but we did our best to fix it. Like, knowing that there's someone behind the scenes working for you, I don't know, it's just, there's something there, you know, there's someone there.
Yeah, once I decided to start translating this stuff for Tokusatsu Network, I realized, wow, I really should have been reading this before, because there are actually some interesting tidbits, and also it's you know, it's got kind of that marketing talk where it's like, look at this awesome thing we're doing, rather than saying, oh, we messed up. Like, it's like people always talk about with Hasbro, where they're like, they have to talk a certain way to make everything seem like a positive.
Yeah.
But even then, you do still get a little bit of personality. Like, when they revealed Gates for Zeo, he was talking about how, oh, I always love all these red riders that show up. Or he's like, I like a powerful axe weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very cool stuff. Mr. D, not to be confused with Mr. S.
Yeah, there are, well, which Mr. S are we talking about? Because there's also a CS Toys Mr. S.
Well, that's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, wait, then what was the other? There was someone before Mr. D.
Oh.
Right?
Well, I noticed that there was an N on the Minipla.
There was someone working on XA that was different than Build.
Oh, all right.
They, like, changed over.
And
oh, okay.
But one thing that I think really benefits Sodo is the release style, for better or for worse, because now you have, well, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the old candy toy figures were like an entire figure in one box.
Yes.
And I think that this really did benefit them to separate them into two boxes so that they could do more.
Yeah, I agree. You got like a really great base figure and like tons of accessories. Like, it was perfect. It was a great idea. Now I do feel like, you know, recently Geo and Build have kind of, I guess, pushed it with as much goodwill as they had. You know, see how far they can really milk you for your money. But I do still appreciate that they are making a concerted effort to make everything.
Yeah, and I'll always maintain, like at the start of the build, or the start of the Zio blogs, they basically said up front, we encourage you to not buy separate bodies. We want you to just kind of keep swapping armor on the figures. And that does have some negative side effects, as I think you mentioned last time, with the stickers.
Yeah, the sticker wear, like the stickers have been getting better. I will say that, but they're not. It's not paint, and it's not like it's not sealed properly with a coating or anything. That stuff can fray. It can get damaged, and like you can only go so many times loading and unloading the armors before you're gonna eventually mess up the stickers. And oh my god. Yeah, and I don't like it. But whatever.
And I think we talked a little bit about it in this episode, but Daisoto is kind of this, I wouldn't necessarily call it a spin-off, but it's more like a rare thing that happens every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, like, it takes the main riders in their base forms and like, just turns the dial up to 11. They kind of make like the perfect version of the figure. I don't know.
Yeah, like with X8, they added a little bit more articulation, and then with the build, they kind of just, I don't know if they were able to keep the articulation because of the split bodies, were they?
Yeah.
Okay, so they
can split bodies.
So
everything's
that's important. Yeah, okay. That's important to note then, because they kept the articulation from X8's best wave, and just kind of made that the norm.
Yeah.
And then with Zio, or rather with Build, they did Daisoto there, where they, I think they did something with the weapons, right? Like they just made them look more accurate. Was it the stickers?
They gave you tons of stickers, wrist articulation.
Yeah, the swappable hands is the main thing.
Yeah.
And then with Zio, they decided, guess what? Swappable hands are now the norm. Also, we're going to make this a little bit more expensive, but just by like 100 yen.
Yeah. Like it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I think I don't know if we've ever said this on mic, but I'm really interested to see what Daisoto is for Zio, because where can you go from here?
I do think we've talked about this a lot.
It was
not on the podcast and off.
It was definitely a topic I wanted to make at some point.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it once Josh is back.
Yeah.
But I think it is about the time where we would get a Daisoto.
Yeah, and I think one of you might have suggested that maybe Ride Plus is what we're getting instead.
Yeah. Then again, Ride Plus isn't, exclusive to. What store do they do?
I don't know. I didn't realize it was an exclusive.
Oh yeah, it was exclusive to a certain store, but it's really easy to get on the aftermarket, so it's not a big deal.
To be honest, if Ride Plus was what we were getting instead of Daisoto, then I'm kind of interested in seeing what the next series will do, because then it will be a surprise.
That's true. Yeah. Or I mean, it could be in place of like the mooks.
Oh right.
Like
the graphite.
Well, not just like. Well, yeah, I guess graphite was that guy was premium though.
Oh right, like they just had like 3 graphites. Never mind.
Yeah, I was just thinking like Guardians. I love Guardians.
And the Bugster viruses, I think, were just like a box of like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, there was a specific wave in Build. It was like action enemies.
Yeah.
That's the one. Okay.
There were 2 of those. And I do wonder, the EX set. I wonder what that's in place of. Because Build never had an EX set.
Oh yeah, I guess not. I was about to say, wasn't that where the bike came from? But no, that was just in one of the waves.
No, yeah. And like we were speculating early on that the bike would come in like the standard release, but no, it comes out in EX. And I'm waiting on EX2.
Yeah, that's another thing we weren't sure about.
Yeah, I mean, they better do it, and they better give me an extra, Ride Watch base thing. But anyway, Yeah,
oh
and
man.
alongside Soto, again, we're just doing a brief overview.
Speaking of the time machines from that EX set, did you see that thing I linked on Twitter?
No.
There was someone who made a custom time machine with the power dicer from Forza.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I did see that. That is beautiful.
I saw that in the Wizard Dragon, and I thought, that Wizard Dragon is really dumb, but those both seemed like valid things to have for Swartz.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so funny if it was Swartz with the friendship robot.
I don't know, maybe Waz has one.
Well, he does have one. He showed up in 2019 with it.
Oh, yeah.
And
what's his?
I just realized we've never actually seen it since then. I think it might be a silver. Well, they're all silver.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also had katakana like Zeos, except green.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, I do want that play pattern to continue, but I do think that's probably far out of the scope of our brief overview.
Yeah.
So let's touch on Shoto real quick. First out, it started with Showa era riders, and I think that might be where the show part of Shoto came from.
These lines have weird name origins, because one thing you might not notice from Soto is that they changed the kanji for Soto with every line.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I think one of them is just like dynamic movement or something.
Uh-huh.
And I think they keep the movement one the same.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Huh. So maybe there is something going on with Shoto.
Maybe. But so far, Shoto, it used to be just mainly Showa era stuff. It was neat. And I think it was sort of like...
I was going to say, occasionally they would toss in monsters, usually from Heisei, but also a lot of Showa.
Yeah, and then they realized, people probably don't think this is... People probably aren't buying much of these, so let's throw in some Heisei era stuff. And we got some Heisei era stuff. I've got Kabuto, Hibiki, the recent Phase 1, Decade...
Did they
double Kiba?
Did they include a monster for Hibiki? Because that seems like it would be hard to do.
They did not. Because I think the main thing was like Shoto is mainly about Showa era stuff, and then they'll throw in a Heisei guy in every now and then. Like the only real sort of time that they dug into Heisei stuff was with Kabuto. Came with Dark Kabuto, and then also
whatever the final monster was.
Yeah, and the Zect Troopers.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it baffles me that this line keeps going, because I honestly thought it would run out of steam, and then just like they just relinquish it to Soto. But like, I don't know, it must go after a very different market.
Yeah, I definitely still see people buying them.
Yeah, I mean, I
mean
guilty.
I mean, it helps that Soto is the one with all the stickers, and this one doesn't have stickers.
Yeah, that's true. It does, but like, it's weird though. They're under the same sort of, they're under the same candy toy situation, but like, they're shorter. That, I mean, I guess some of the height must have gone into paint, but like, it bothers me that two concurrent lines are not in the same scale. And also there's overlap sometimes. So like, I don't know, it's such a weird beast, the candy toy stuff.
Yeah, I definitely get the impression it's made by a different team.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like, I don't know why. It baffles me why they would overlap like this. You know?
I guess the thing it's got going for it is that it's covering a bunch of series that aren't in Soto.
Yeah, but what if they took that team and then just put them on the Soto team? I guess this is going for like higher accuracy and less play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically the difference between an action figure line that has a gimmick to it, like attachable armor, versus the Legend Rider series.
Oh, okay. So kind of like SH Figure Arts to your retail release, sort of. Like
well, line. I would say that if it was a premium Bandai thing, then maybe. But these are both available around the same price.
That's true. Yeah, good point. Actually, technically, these are cheaper.
Ooh. Yeah. Another point for Shodo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, again, we talked about how confusing these names are, but do you want to go more into that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Shodo, just standard Shodo is just all about, I don't know, just getting a rider out there, and then they made shodo-x, which is all about, ooh, we can sit down more effectively. And now we've got Shodo Arc coming, and I don't know what to expect. So, because I was hoping with shodo-x they would like re-release the old molds, and just update them so I could finally get my hands on a Rider Man at a good price and like fill out my Showa display, like actually keep up with it. But no, they're just doing whatever the hell they want.
One day.
Yeah, one day. And I have no idea what's on the horizon for Shodo Arc.
You said that before they're going to run out of Showa eventually, so might as well re-release some Showa.
Yeah.
Or also do what they did with Ichigo and just go, here's Hongo.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
That is... Out of all the candy toy lines, I feel like that is the very first human head that they've done.
And it's also...
No, I lied.
Oh.
I lied. Because Garen had half of his face.
Battle damage, yeah.
Yeah. In Motion Revive. Yeah. Is that it? I think that's it.
You generally don't see human faces on these toys, so...
Yeah. And we are running a bit long, so let's just move right on into Yudo. Just quick overview.
Sentai's attempt at Soto.
Yeah, I mean, there were attempts before with
Ranger Keys.
Ryusoulger. What? Hi Josh. But yeah, they released Kyoryu Red and Kyoryu Gold and a bike, I think. And like you had to build those yourself. And then after that there was like this huge gap. And then Soto was doing well. And they wanted to sort of capture that with Sentai Now. So they brought into production the name of it, Galaxy Q Ranger. There it is. Yeah. They brought in Q Ranger, and it was so late in the show, I guess, when they decided to do it. So they pumped out. I guess I want to say it was like a test.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was only like 3 figures, right?
Yeah, there was Shishi Red Orion, and
Ho-Oh Soldier.
Tsurugi. Yeah. So that was neat.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Q Ranger, I was about to say Kyoryuger. That was only going on during XA, right? Because what I was thinking was, I remember Shishi Red Orion had swappable hands. And that would mean that
he does.
That would technically mean he was the first.
Huh.
Because Bill did it in Dai Soto.
That's true.
That's weird.
I guess so. But, see, it's... Yudo is different because they chunked out a lot of the body,
like the articulation.
Well, not just to add articulation, but like make sure to stuff the entire experience into one box and then one accessory set. And I feel like it goes back to that old candy toy mentality where like Gaim, Forze, and O's, had to deal with. But except this time, like, they had to compete with the articulation of Soto, I don't know. I thought it was a good attempt with Q Ranger, and I still think, I would prefer, separating them in two boxes, but I feel like, probably their mentality behind it is like, well, Sentai is aimed at a younger audience, so we can't expect them to buy two. We need to put it all into one. And
I also think, like, the Sentai designs are a lot simpler, so they could just do it with one figure, maybe.
I think that they'd never be able to do this, but I think to do it effectively, it would require, like, 1.5. And that would just get too complex.
Oh, like maybe one set is the armor for the Red Ranger and the Blue Ranger.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. They're stuck in a really weird position where they have to, like, fit all of it in. And like you said, they're the first to do swappable hands, so that's neat.
Yeah, I feel like that it's probably in the same position as the DX line, or at least how I see it, where action figures just aren't their main thing, so they don't make much.
Yeah. But then we kind of saw Lupat try to really lean into it, and I maintain that I really I bought all of them. Don't get me wrong, but I really wish I could, like, fully have gotten into it. Just because, I don't know, I was, like, lukewarm on the show. It endeared me to the end, but, like, and, like, I kind of wanted, I started off with Power Rangers, and then I and then I did Sentai, and then I did Kamen Rider, so I kind of wanted a good Power Rangers / Sentai representation on my shelf in this scale. And Lupat almost did it for me. The figures were almost... like, it just needed, a boost from the show, and, like, they really gotta fix their sticker situation, because that was horrid.
Oh dear.
Oh my god, I swear to you, Silver and Gold came with, like, an entire pamphlet of stickers.
Oh, I remember you linking that on Twitter. That
was horrible, man.
That was horrific.
Yeah, so they've really got to do something. I maintain that, like, this line could do well with 1.5 boxes. It just would make no sense for kids if they tried to do 1.5. I don't know. So I'm really hoping for the best here as we're moving on into
the Ryusoulgers.
There it is. Yeah. I mean, only time will tell.
I wonder if Power Rangers is going to do something.
I'm still holding out for a 3 3/4-inch Power Rangers toy line, so I can also get play sets and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really follow toy lines in general anymore, but that sounds weird. What I was going to say is, I remember there was a time when everyone was just doing 3 3/4-inch size figures, and I don't know what the current situation is with that.
I feel like,
because that was when
it's moving towards 6-inch.
Because I remember that was a time when G.I. Joe was still a thing, and it's kind of dead in the water right now.
Yeah, and even because, like, I started with Star Wars, and that's sort of where my love for 3 3/4-inch started.
Oh right, the Star Wars. I forgot about them.
Yeah, like they're the ones that started 3 3/4-inch, and, like, they keep doing it now. But I think the appetite has switched to 6-inch because, like, I remember, walking into a Walmart, you get those not necessarily off-brand toys, but, like, really crappily made ones, and there are, like, the adventure, like, pack in with like a motorcycle or like a Jeep or something. Like, those scales were usually 3 3/4-inch, but I went into a Walmart recently, and, like, the sort of cheaper option toys on, like, a dirt bike, it was 6-inch. So I feel like the appetite is sort of, or the paradigm is shifting to 6-inch.
People have just been spoiled by these optional hands.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where 3 3/4 inch is anymore. And I keep getting crap for loving 3 3/4 inch, but whatever. I still love it.
Oh, it's a nice scale.
3 3/4 inch to 4 inch. Huh?
It's a nice scale. What are they talking about?
Honestly, I think it is the perfect scale. Because if you go too big, then you can't do all of the figures.
That's true.
We've seen it with mainline stuff for Kamen Rider.
Yeah, and it's also a nice desk toy.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's where toys should be, in a playable distance. And you can play... whatever.
So that was Yudo.
Yeah, that was Yudo. And I think that just about covers all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brief overview that took 40 minutes. Glad you stuck around, if you're still listening. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about this topic or anything else for the rest of this episode?
Good topic.
Yeah, it was a fun topic, and I hope to dive too deep later on in this show. Like we were throwing around ideas on what we'd do after the news, and I kind of wanted to do deep dives on like older candy toy lines, and I do, setting the precedent here for an introduction. That was really good.
Yeah,
so,
and I think we only briefly mentioned Motion Revive, so come back for that.
Yes, we can talk about Motion Revive sometime later. I don't know when. We don't have a schedule. We just kind of figure it out right before we start recording. So guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
It's on YouTube.
I guess you can watch it. We have beautiful graphics. Look at this. Ooh, pretty. We're in we look like we're floating in soda. Yeah. Cool. So guys, thanks for listening. You can follow all of our social media stuff down in the description below. I've talked about it excessively for the last 2 episodes, so I'm not going to bore you with a spiel. It's all down below. You know it. And I'll leave Josh's stuff down there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Keep it juicy.
Later.
Kaboom!